It might. It might. Or and we're live like a COVID fever dream. Welcome to whatever
You kind
the
of
hell
sounded like
episode it
Joe
is.
Cocker there.
I have no idea what episode.
Yeah.
I really have to go back and figure out exactly what episode we're on. I just haven't had.
No,
Moment
we've
to
completely lost count. It could be like 3,727.
It's true. So, welcome everyone to the Wednesday night Canada Day podcast. You never know if you're probably out watching fireworks. Oh no, you're probably at home watching a bunch of dudes hang out in their basements, talking about beer without being able to speak properly. So we're trying something.
I am over the garage. Thank you very much.
Oh, that's true, Dave. I was gonna say, Dave. Yeah. You're like what is Fonzie's last name?
Oh, geez.
Oh, well, Fonzarelli.
Fonzarelli, but his name was
Arthur.
Arthur, thank you.
Arthur Fonzarelli, yeah.
Arthur Fonzarelli, basically, that's who you are, Dave. So congratulations, you're coming up in the world.
All right. He used to be my hero when I was like 10.
Hey!
You know, he was my hero when I was like, I have photographs of me in sunglasses doing this. And apparently, according to my parents anyway, I was doing or whatever, a 4-year-old.
Awesome.
So, but there you go. So actually, I think I've put those photos on the internet somewhere, kind of going, look how cool I am.
Totally.
So how's it going, boys? We saw, actually, Dave, Alan and myself and Locke actually hung out a bit on the weekend, waking up Locke's dad in the process. But the best part ever. He's up in Muskoka and they are doing repairs and stuff. So, but otherwise, that's really all that's really transpired. For our at least my life, anyway, the knowledge of Locke's life is all I'm living for now. But how's it been with you, Dave? Because you weren't there on Saturday. What were you doing?
Yeah, I was just kind of laying flat on my back because it's gone.
So what happened to you last week? Because that's sort of when it started.
Yeah, same deal.
Is it one of those things where you can go, hey, I injured myself in a really awesome way. I was at this orgy, and there were just too many people, and I threw my back out.
Oh man, I sincerely wish that had been the case. Unfortunately, I cannot report such an amazing funky.
Basically,
happening.
You're getting old. You're getting old like everybody here. We're all old now. So before we continue, I know that you and Alan have the same beer tonight. I think, is that right?
Yes, we do.
What is it?
All right. It is from a local Victoria, I guess you might call it a macro brewery, called Ile Sauvage. That's
the brewery name or the beer name?
That's the name of the brewery. What they do is they specialize in sour beers. That's all they do is sour beer. Now, I've said this time and time again. I think sour beers have kind of run their course. But I was told... Oh, geez, now Shane brought up the
I just wanted to see what it looked like here, because it's...
That's cool.
Pretty cool.
So, now they have something of a new beer, though, and this was told to me from the guy at Cascadia Liquor. This is a dry-hopped pale ale that they are making called Azaka, which is a little bit of a departure from what they normally do, and supposedly is very good. So I thought I would get it and try it out. So I've already, this is what the can looks like. Unfortunately,
it's like a very light blue.
It is
very light blue. Very fetching kind of design on the label. And then this is what the beer itself looks like once I poured it. Kind of got a nice head, some really good lacing going on. It looks like it's unfiltered and a nice straw color. Smells like a pale ale. It's what it smells like. It's very refreshing. This is a great patio beer. I would certainly get this again and have it with a burger out at a pub or something. It would be amazing for the summer, actually. I wish it actually. It was sold in single cans at Cascadia. I'm sure you can get it in 4-packs. Dave, what are you thinking of it?
Hey, Peanut Gallery.
I don't know. I don't mind it. I wouldn't get it again myself, left to my own devices. No, it smells nice. It actually reminds me a lot of an IPA.
What? Really?
Again, this is me not being a real beer drinker, and so that's just,
It is dry hop, so it does have a little bit of a kick to it, but certainly not to the same level as an IPA. Like, I don't even know what the IBU rating on this is. I'd be interested to know, but I wouldn't say it's high.
Yeah, well, I guess I don't know. I guess the only thing I can say is maybe it's got a bit more of that hop edge than I like to get.
Right.
Maybe.
Okay.
Again, not being a real beer drinker, I can't identify exactly, what's hops, what's malt, what's other stuff. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I'm just kind of guessing that that's maybe what it is.
All right. Fair enough.
So this is a
it's not bad.
beer.
It's nice and light.
How sour is it?
Well, it's not sour at all. This is the kind of the point. Il Sauvage does only sour beers, but this particular one is not a sour.
I see. So
it's a departure.
It's an exception.
It's an exception, yes. Yeah, so this is their dry hopped pale ale, and as far as I'm aware, it's the only non-sour beer that they have made to date.
I see. Okay. Oh, interesting. Huh.
Yeah.
And I should say,
have you tried sour beer
as a rider to this?
No, I have not. This is actually the very first beer from Il Sauvage I have sampled.
I'm very interested to know what they think a sour beer is all about, because there are some mighty tough customers in the Pacific Northwest in this sour corner of beerland. My personal favorite being the Storm Flanders. That is out of control. But
okay,
that's like drinking balsamic vinegar.
So where is that from?
That's the Storm Imperial Flanders Sour. I think they're out of Vancouver, but Vancouver and area, I think is sort of probably more appropriate. And it's it clocks in at, I think they advertise something like 14%, but I don't think any of them actually know, because batch to batch it's a little weird. Right. But it is an unusual beverage and not for everyone.
Okay.
So whenever I hear about sours, I'm always curious to find out how sour are we talking here?
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I'll tell you what. If you're in town again, we should go to Il Sauvage and try out some of their sours.
Yes. Well, lockdown lifting and world opening up. We will do that.
Okay. It's a date.
Locke, what's the beer you're drinking tonight? I'm assuming you have something.
This evening, I am rocking the Sawdust City Lone Pine IPA. Now, Sawdust City are locals in Muskoka. I go to their brew pub when it's open. I don't know if we're on the other side of that yet, but I've been there numerous times. They're located in Gravenhurst. And let's see, we have some notable stuff here. So beer units is 65, alcohol is 6.5. and we have the pithy Tharby hops written on the side of it.
By the way, Locke, they were open today. They were open until 7 or till
Oh.
9. It's too bad.
Oh, good,
You
good
missed
to
it.
know.
But they apparently are. Their patio is now open as of June 12th. They do have social distancing things going on. So there you go.
Nice.
Rock and roll.
Cool.
The beer I'm drinking tonight is Ravens Brewing Flying Dutchman Mosaic IPA, which is a beer that I know that I've had before. It looks like this, and it tastes like this. I gotta say, I'm a Mosaic fan of that particular hop. That really kind of really makes me happy. And also, being that it's a Flying Dutchman, they have a really nice graphic of a ship.
Sweet.
Anyway, I assume it might be the Flying Dutchman, but of some sort. But
Cool.
yeah, no, it looks really good. And so the IBU, the International Beer Units for this one is 40. And it is rocking in at 6 3/4 of alcohol by volume. And Dave is off the show. He's totally gone. Don't know where he went, but he's gone. He's never coming back.
I bet you his computer crashed.
Probably. He needs a new machine. But it looks like the beer that we have pretty much makes everyone happy today.
I think so. Well, except for Dave.
I have a question from the internet. Where is the brewery? I don't know which brewery.
I think she means the Ravens.
And also, of course, we also have from Julian, who is up on there in Nelson Island, saying hello. Wishing us a happy Canada Day
there, Julian.
Happy Canada Day, Julian.
And apparently Dave has better things to do because my sister is so incredibly awesome.
I think Kristen was asking what brewery Ravens. Where is Ravens from?
Where is Ravens Brewing? Ravens Brewing is somewhere nearby, actually. I'll tell you right now. It's in the wonderful city of Abbotsford. I was thinking it was actually in I want to say Yaletown, not Yale, New Westminster, but it's not. It's actually in Abbotsford. And the thing is, I've never actually been there, but I know that I've driven by it and I've gone, oh, hey, there's Ravens Brewing, and that sort of thing as you go by. So I don't actually know much other than that. So yeah, I don't know anything apparently.
Okay, that's fine. That's all good.
But overall, this beer, I like it. You like your beers, and I'm assuming, as Dave was stating, he liked his. So,
well, I think.
Although he wouldn't get it again.
He would not get it again.
How often does Dave say that?
I was going to say, Dave has that's his thing. We have another question here that says, "Hey, Alan, have you been to the Victoria Caledonian place?"
Yes, I have.
Which is, of course, over near where you live.
Yes, it is. That's where Trois Dogs is.
Trois Dogs, right.
And, I have been there. I have gotten a growler or two. To be honest, their beer, a lot of times, I don't know, just doesn't strike a chord with me. No? Not to say that their beer is bad by any stretch. It's not. It's decent enough beer, but comparatively to say some other breweries, local and otherwise, I would prefer to have some of that beer rather than stuff from Trois Dogs. Just personal preference.
Well, yeah. If anyone sees Dave, let him know the show is still on. I was putting it out to the chat, that if Dave. Oh, wait, here we go.
Oh, he's back.
Hey, Dave's back. Hey, Dave, how's it going?
Dave is back.
Woo! I got
my
booted for some strange reason. I don't know. I had to fight with my computer and arm wrestle it and stuff.
Oh, no.
Well,
Obviously, you won.
Look at
defeated
this.
the beast.
Look at this. How could I lose?
Boing, 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 boing.
Dong, dong, dong.
Okay,
So, yeah.
this leads me to a question, though. What is your guys' favorite brewery? Out of all the breweries that you've sampled, what
like
is your
entirely, like
absolute? If all breweries were to shut down but one, what is that one brewery you'd want to have stay open? Dave, go.
Seriously?
Yeah, no, I'm joking. Yes, seriously. Come on.
I can never tell with you. I don't know. Because I just think that the stuff that I've enjoyed over the years has been really all over the map, right? Like, I'm not sure that I've got a brewery. This may well be true. Yeah, so I don't know. Just, you know what? Purely, and this is complete bullshit, purely based on aesthetics, I'm all about Phillips.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah.
Mainly because for what reason?
I think they've got the rockinest labeling of anybody.
Really? So you judge beers based on labels?
Oh, totally.
Okay.
Actually,
I'm kidding.
You
We've had some
have
good
said
stuff.
that before. You have actually stated that, yeah.
And to be fair, they've got some good brews.
Well, you don't want to judge a cover by its book.
Oh, I totally do. All the time. If I look at a cover and I'm like, oh my god, that cover's like 100 years old, forget it. There's just no way. Because clearly old stuff is garbage.
Okay, so we got a Phillips from Dave. Locke, how about you?
Oh, this is a hard one because my go-to depends on where I am.
Right.
And now, I mean, this has been a weird year. So, out in Ontario, man, let me see. I kind of think if I could just pick one Ontario brewery and say, I will drink your product as long as I live in Ontario. Although, unlike Dave, I'm actually not fond of their branding. I would go Flying Monkeys.
Okay.
They make interesting beer. They make really interesting beer, and so I would not get bored. And so I'm up for some Flying Monkeys if I'm here in Ontario. But that's only insofar as I'm here in Ontario.
Right.
So what about here on the West Coast, Locke?
I mean, I could start rhyming off what I would drink everywhere else in the world, but I don't want to bore people. Yeah, I think. Let me see. Are we talking imports?
Sure. Why not?
International? If it's available internationally, and I had to pick a drink, ooh, that's tough. I think.
Locke's going into beer overload.
I think part of me is
he's tried too many. He's the man who knows too much.
I hate to admit it, but Sierra Nevada, as much as I'm not going to pay £8 for a pint of it in bloody Cambridge, for stuff that's available in every market that I've ever been to, Sierra Nevada is pretty good.
Okay, fair enough. Shane,
I think my favorite beer of all time, is a Florida brewery
Swamp
that
Ape.
makes a beer called Swamp Ape. Oh, you beat me to it, you bastard! But seriously, I think a beer that I would like to, if I had
not
if I
a
was
beer,
being,
a brewery.
That's right, a brewery. If I was forced to drink from a single brewery
For the
for
rest
the
of
rest
your
of
life.
my days, God,
That's a hard decision.
I would say probably Driftwood or Phillips. Maybe no, probably Driftwood. But again, I mean, God, I'm like Locke. Like, what if I'm conveniently across the street from a place? I kind of, where it's
You
weird.
can't go in there.
But I don't know.
Look, it's never going to come to fruition or anything.
I know. I'll say Driftwood, but I can't. I'm just trying to think of. There's a beer that I really like that I know that when I've had it, like it's one of those things where you have it and you're like, oh God, that was really good. Oh, why am I not drinking more of that? But I can't think of a single beer that would sort of scream, pick this brewery in sort of in one fell swoop, right? It's something that I think.
Yeah. So, I mean, for me, the first thing that came to mind was Driftwood. Driftwood makes my favorite beer, which is Fat Tug. I could drink Fat Tug for the rest of my days and not get bored. And Driftwood makes some other really, really nice beers. But having said that, Driftwood does not have the same kind of variety that some other breweries produce. So if they don't make a stout, for instance,
right?
As far as I'm aware. So I'm probably going to pick a brewery that has a wide breadth of variety. So I'm actually thinking like Parallel 49. Parallel 49 puts out a lot of stuff. And, they've got some nice IPAs. They got nothing really failed from them. Like they've never fallen flat on their face. But I think I would pick Parallel 49.
Yeah, I could see that because this is the thing too, is that I think we've been heavily exposed to Parallel 49. We've been heavily exposed to Phillips and Driftwood and things like that, just because we're in the right region for it. It's easy to access. But there's some things that I think. Sorry, mid thought. There you go, Alan. My sister's on to you.
Yeah.
But basically, yeah. There's definitely something to be said for a lot of those breweries that are harder to get to. Again, I'm speaking for us three, where Locke, of course, in the last 4 or 5 years has actually been pretty much all over the Helen. You've been everywhere, man.
Hell and high water, yeah.
So you've had access to breweries that we can't get out here on the coast. So
yes, most of which I no longer have access to, being in Ontario.
Yeah, no, this is true. Ontario is kind of a unique place at the moment because it's Ontario. Although, now when you're in Toronto, though, like what is the scene there like?
Well, like Toronto, so there's Toronto and all of Ontario is slow to pick up on craft brewing because the industry is overregulated to a degree that it's a bit Soviet. But I've got to say, in Toronto, like there's the citizens. Their UPA. I don't know. I think they call it an urban pale ale.
Okay.
What the hell is that?
It's a go-to of mine. Let me see. What there's Louis Siffer, which they make a Thai IPA, which has lemongrass in it, which is I'd want to drink all evening, but that hint of sort of lemongrass. Like if you're pairing that with food, that's something that's just sort of uniquely interesting. There's stuff going on there, but truthfully, none of it's stuff that like when I'm in another market, I'm like, oh, but if only I could have a, like Amsterdam Bone Shaker is, it's.
And he's gone.
Oh,
It's kind of a slow down.
That was a slow. Yeah, exactly. That was a slow slide into hell.
I'm sure
was I doing that too?
That was the best thing ever.
I think my connection died there. I believe what I was saying is that when I'm in Victoria, there aren't a lot of other markets that I miss, because the truth is Victoria is one of the most competitive beer scenes on the planet, bar none.
Oh wow.
Like Portland, Oregon. Yes, I've been there. I've lived there. Yes, the beer is fantastic. Yeah, Victoria's competitive with that. I've lived in England. Is England competitive with that? Sure, it's competitive with that. But does it beat it? Nah, I wouldn't say so. What? I mean, like Witherspoons. Interestingly, they're more of a real estate company. What they do is they buy up historic pubs, serve sort of sub Boston pizza level of food, but the beer is excellent.
I see.
And
that's like scraping the bottom of the barrel, man.
No. One of the things what they do at Witherspoons is they have an annual routine of, they do a beer festival where they bring brewers from around the world to brew whatever their title product is in England, so it's fresh. So it's not just we shipped it over, and so you're getting old stale beer. They bring the brewmasters over. They brew it fresh in England and serve it on the taps at Witherspoons. And Driftwood's done it. I think Phillips has. Like there's one or two others that probably. I'm trying to think who else in Canada has done that. But I mean, out of Canadian representatives, Victoria speaks loud and clear.
Wow. Okay.
Very cool.
So I just kind of wanted to point out to you guys that I was looking into the Great Canadian Beer Fest, which is coming up in first week of September 2020. It has not been officially canceled yet, but there has been no communication at all about what's going on with it. Tickets would normally go on sale the third Saturday in July, which this year's the 18th. That's 2.5 weeks away that tickets would go on sale. So I have a feeling that we're going to be hearing something about the Beer Fest fairly soon, because if they can't start selling tickets soon, there's no way, if it happens, that they would be able to sell out.
Yeah, they haven't tweeted in months. Like, they haven't really done a whole lot since February.
Yeah.
I'm not really surprised to hear that.
No, I'm not either. I think it's a foregone conclusion. It is that it's going to get canceled, which really, really, really sucks. But it's the way it is. If Burning Man is going to get canceled, Great Canadian Beer Fest is going to get canceled too.
Has Burning Man been canceled this year?
Burning Man was officially canceled. Yes.
Wow. That is not a shocker in the least bit.
No.
That's a lot of bodies in one space.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, I mean, it is what it is. But it has not been officially canceled yet, which I find kind of shocking.
Yeah, well, I mean, the United States is, gone crazy again with cases of stuff. I mean, we've had a few more here in BC as well.
So now, Shane,
But
since you have access to the internet there and can bring it up onto the screen, do you want to look to see if, say, because the Whistler Beer Fest would be the week after Great Canadian, find out what the status is of that, if there is.
well, so the Whistler Beer
Beer Fest, or I don't know what it's officially called, but
Whistler Village Beer Festival.
yeah.
Let's see. It is currently featuring. I don't see any news as to cancellations or anything of the sort.
Okay.
But it is in September, so it looks like it's a week after the week after Great Canadian.
Yes, it's always the week after the Great Canadian in Victoria.
So, do they have a blog? They do. What have they been saying? Canada Day, Whistler, Father's Day, Valentine's, this other stuff. So,
nothing about the status.
Nothing about the status of it. No, since
well, and here's the thing: these beer festivals kind of go on a circuit, right? So again, there's a beer fest in a different locale, and they all pick up their trucks and they move kind of like a circus from town to town to town. And if any of those cancels, then there's no point in doing any of them, right? Because the tour is broken up.
No, this is true. But
oh my God, what a job. Beer Festival Carney. all of this training to be a lawyer shit is suddenly kind of maybe out the window.
Yeah.
I could do that.
Yeah, oh, totally. I could be the person that puts down the pixie dust when people have had too much.
I'd be the person that snorts it.
You can never go wrong with that. I mean, when you think about it, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. See? I totally lost I was going to say something. I totally forgot what the hell I was going to say. Never mind. Army.
Oh, no. Ooh.
Well, aren't we a bag of fun, aren't we?
All right. So how is the weather out where you guys are? Is it hot?
No.
No, it rained all day today.
Really? Okay.
It didn't rain here, but it was cloudy and kind of
It's cool.
depressing. It was cool.
Depressing.
Yeah.
It was too hot to handle from 5 to about 7 in the evening out here. We had dinner inside. It was not conducive to it'd be sort of like hot, and then the wind would come by and the wind would be hot too. You know?
Oh, jeez.
So apparently
So you're chilling in the lake all day.
Yeah, well, so the phenomenon going on right now, where there's a particular wind that picks up a whole lot of sand dust from the Sahara in Africa, takes it across the Atlantic and throws it at North America. And apparently it's crazy right now in terms of it's more intense than usual. And so the sunset was amazing. And it's
I've never heard of that.
yeah. Apparently it's very good for forests, amongst other things. Great plant food. So that's part of the reason the Amazon rainforest is the Amazon rainforest, because it gets this constant dumping of sand dust very fine enough particulate that it's picked up by the wind, and it just sort of. And this has been going on for hundreds and thousands and millions.
That's interesting.
Crazy, eh?
It is.
Totally.
It is kind of funny that we don't understand a lot of these global things, like a butterfly farts on the moon and suddenly we have a pink moon or something.
There's no butterflies on the moon.
I'm just saying that, there's all these
What are you saying?
The interconnected system.
Hold on.
saying, Alan, Oh, sorry. Pardon me, Mr. Fulton down in the first row. You were saying you wanted to interrupt the lecture?
I feel like this is a Jurassic Park reference, but I can't quite see you.
You can't
Maybe-
see John Hammond.
Well,
Oh, mommy, can't you see the face?
was it Jeff I think it was Jeff Goldblum, wasn't it, that delivered the butterfly speech? When you were putting on
Yes.
the glasses there.
A
I'm
butterfly
Jeff
flaps its
Goldblum.
wings in Peking. You get rain in
Yeah.
Wisconsin or something, whatever it was. I'll look that up. What does that actually say? What did he say? Yeah, I even know his name, Ian Malcolm. My favorite quote being, of course, God creates dinosaurs, God destroys dinosaurs. That's the dinosaurs. God creates man. Man destroys God. Man creates dinosaurs.
Do you know about the dinosaur they've discovered now that got preserved in clay fine enough that it actually preserved skin?
Yes, I have.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Like that is totally cool.
Where's
Here,
this?
here, just to finish the quote. He's of course a chaotician, as he refers to himself, or a chaosician, or whatever. Simply, his whole thing is chaos simply deals with unpredictability and complex systems. The shorthand is the butterfly effect. A butterfly can flap its wings in Peking, and in Central Park, you'll get rain instead of sunshine. So there you go. Sorry, I just wanted to finish that off. You were saying what?
Yeah, no. So I kind of think that so it was an ankylosaur of some kind, and so I've already seen a replica of the head of this thing. They've got a head, and it's cool looking. Ooh, yeah, there we go. Yeah.
Yeah, here we
Nice.
go.
How big was this thing?
A nodosaur.
What is it?
That's awesome.
If it's not a sore.
You're funny.
Yeah.
Basically, yeah, that's I've actually heard of this, but I didn't realize it was found here. I thought it was found in Russia, like with a lot of those sorts of peat encased, permafrost, frozen creatures, which they
I
found
think
a
it was people
wolf
from the Tyrrell
recently.
Museum were working on it.
Mm,
Yeah.
That's interesting. I've been doing some excavating in my backyard, and I was kind of hoping I'd find like a skeleton of a dinosaur or something. I was hoping for a T-Rex, actually. I didn't come across that. You know what I did come across? A Hot Wheels car, probably mine. It was a 1977 issued Firebird. It was in remarkable condition.
That's awesome.
Well, I mean, it's been buried out in the dirt.
I sold it for $200 million.
Years. Yeah. So that was kind of cool.
Right.
I'm trying to think of anything that I've found that I've dug up that I have kept, like some sort of, whether it was a reward a treasure of some sort that I discovered out in the wild, but I don't think I've really found much. I mean, I've panned for gold and I found a few little flakes of gold, but really, 30
That
years
were worth
ago,
like $3.5 million.
yeah, probably, but nowadays they would be. So don't go panning with me because you'll end up dead. But yeah, I can't think of a single thing. Like I've buried things. I've never dug them up again, mind you. But I think I got a rush probably about 10 years ago. I tried a bit of that whole geocaching where you can wander around and find
Right.
caches and stuff.
That's kind
And I've done that a few times, and I got a rush out of doing that because you know that there's going to be something there, and so you found it, and then you write your name in it or whatever, or you take something and put something in. And I think the coolest one I found was a book cache. There was an old ammo case that they were putting books in, that they hid under a bridge in a park somewhere. Then there was a cache that was a fake pile of dog poo. That was a good one. It was like it was styrofoam poo, and you pulled it out, and it had a string on it, and there was a PVC pipe underneath it, and you pulled out whatever was inside in a plastic bag. But have you ever done stuff like that?
Yep, I have.
Is this a
Fun.
surrealist thing?
No. It's a real thing. It's called geocaching. Basically, it's an app on your phone. Many years ago, we actually had a GPS device that you carried around with you before phones were GPS. But on your phone now, you can find caches all over the place. Like we've gone all over North Van, down in Abbotsford, like different Richmond places like
They're
that.
everywhere. They're literally everywhere.
Right. So who does this and why? Explain this to me.
Who does it and why?
People do it.
People do, yeah.
They find.
I think it's like elves.
They take. We've talked about elves. We take stuff and we stick it in the ground, like a dog burying a bone.
Yeah.
Yep. Or the caches are very unique.
But then we notify other people as to where to find the bone.
Yes,
exactly.
but sometimes it's just sort of like it's not like direct. It's just sort of like clues or something. They give like coordinates for where it is, and then they might give a clue or something. It could be hanging like 10 feet up in a tree, or buried under like 3 feet of dirt or something. I mean, who knows? And it's up to you to sort of like deduce where it is. So I've done it with my family. And the only reason why we didn't do it more is because we were using an actual GPS device, and it was such a pain in the ass to make the thing work that we didn't do it more. But that's something that actually I would love for us to get back into. It's great exercise. What a way to spend an afternoon. It's actually a lot of fun.
So is this sort of like give what you don't need and take what you do, or
it's sort of like usually you leave one thing, you take one thing. But I mean that's not the whole purpose of it. The whole purpose is the hunt, not the prize. I mean, it's usually just junk stuff, right?
So on the screen here, Locke, I've actually found I've searched for Muskoka, Ontario, and you can see that there's caches all over the place. Rock Duck Park. So you can see there's a map here, and if we zoom out, you'll see exactly where it is. And some of them are hidden. Like, so even though you know the locations, some of them are actually hidden because you don't necessarily like. They'll have instructions, like hints and things like where, how to find these things. And we found ones many eons ago that were underwater. Like you knew the area, but you actually had to really hunt for them and actually see what they were. I went hunting. I can't remember where this one was, but it was hanging in a tree. It was disguised inside the branch of that tree. stuff like that. Like there's all kinds of sort of unique ways of like the dog poo one. Like it didn't say look for the dog poo. It just said it's in the field off this parking lot somewhere, where the hell it was. And so you had to kind of look around. And the people that did it, they actually had taken just like styrofoam and had basically cut, sculpted it to look like dog shit, painted it, and actually put little tiny white marks in it to look like, maggots or whatever. It was done very well. Like if you're not paying attention, you're just kind of walking by, you'd be like, oh man, pick up after your dog, dickhead, and move on. But yeah,
I feel like there must be an episode of Castle about this that I missed.
To be honest, I would not doubt if there were. But yeah, so I mean, it's fun. It's a hunt. It gets you outside for a while. Actually, this is something we should do for geocaching. We should make a geocache, because back in the day, in Vancouver, here,
take a beer, leave a beer.
About 2009, maybe 10. We actually put geocaches in Stanley Park. There was one over in this general vicinity. Deep Thoughts. I can't remember. There was somewhere along this shoreline where that we did it for a theater event we were doing, and we thought it would be kind of fun. And the CBC came out and they actually went looking for it and stuff like that. It was kind of neat. But you can see there's these different caches all over the place, and they're hidden in different ways. I've seen a few of these. I've seen this one. And it's something that gets you outside, right? It's kind of neat. So
I highly recommend it.
Yeah, so if you go to geocaching.com and away you go. I mean, see what's in the area around Muskoka. I mean, I'm sure you can wander around on the weekend. How long are you there for?
It's an open question and subject to change day by day.
Right.
Like my life is still sort of subject to craziness going on with work. So
yeah, no, it totally makes sense. But so overall, I think that it's a fun activity, and I highly recommend it. Especially Dave, there might be geocaches near where you are now.
Oh yeah, there's all kinds. I did it with a buddy. It was many, many years ago. We did it for a little while there. He was the guy that actually had the GPS unit, because that was what you needed at that point. But I've totally forgotten about it. It's actually kind of cool. I might need to look into doing that because, cell phones.
Oh, here we go. I'm looking at your house right now.
Creep.
And I see that Centennial Park nearby has 4 caches in it.
Centennial has 4 caches.
Apparently. There's actually some caches on a street nearby you. There's actually one that apparently it looks like a peanut. So there you go.
Well,
I'll leave it. I'll just figure it out. But to be honest, I mean, thinking about geocaching is something that is. It's all about now we have to find distractions that are safe and away from people as much as possible, and all these kinds of things. Because we can't just sit around drinking beer all day. We'd love to, but our bodies will eventually give out and be like, "You're a moron. What's wrong with you?" And then you can, but leaving the house and doing stuff like that, geocaching is a great distraction. What distractions are high on your list? I'm assuming all of us here are working during the day, so we're distracted with that. But anything else that you guys have been doing to kind of fill your mental capacity to not go insane?
I've been trying to beautify our outdoor space out here.
Oh, cool.
I've been actually building a patio. I've got a hot tub on order.
Nice.
Wow.
And we're gonna have like a sitting area with like a fire pit. I just got a new barbecue. If we can't go anywhere, I'm gonna make this place a happening place. If we have to stay at home, we're going to be entertained while we're here.
You have
Cool.
to. You can't not.
That's right.
Being as I'm up at the lake, I've actually been doing a bunch of plumbing. I mean, it's one of those things where you could just throw money at it and hire a guy, but actually, it's probably more difficult in the pandemic than you would think anyway. So it's sort of fun just getting your head around practical issues like how does the pump work? How is it that the cabin has water? It does have water. How does it have water and it's not going to blow up and cause mayhem if the pump overheats? So stuff like that. Yeah, I mean, kind of fun actually, satisfying.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, on that note, I think it is time for us to go to bed, boys.
Okay. I'm all over that.
Yeah, exactly. So, as always, thank you everyone for watching. We had some people in the chat today. Thanks to those guys coming out and hassling us a bit. Alan has a help message. Oh, that's the label from the can. I was like, help me. But yeah, so we do this for fun. To spread the word, tell people about what we're doing, and and come drink beer with us.
Pay us money.
And pay us money. That's right. Pay us the dollar. But as always, Alan, don't bother. Bye, everybody.